I just don't know what's going to happen with the world. It's crazy what's happening in our country today. And when I really, really think about it, I kind of reflect on it. And I look at the government and I see we the people in the government. The government is no different than the people. We are the government. Whatever we are is what the government is. For example, the government will not shut down the borders between Mexico and the U.S., but instead they go out and do it for Ukraine, help Ukraine. That's the same thing that happens to families. Husbands and wives break up, and the husband go and take care of someone else's family. Or the wife go and live with someone else's family. In the government, it's just a battle for power between the Democrats and Republicans. They don't care about the people. It's personal, perceived power and wealth that they want for themselves. Same thing with people, rest of the people. Just imagine we have a government in the United States of America that is refusing to shut the borders down, and there are thousands of illegals on the way. We're not going to put a wall up. Matter of fact, we're going to tear down the laws that would prevent them from coming. And people go, oh, okay. Otherwise, you are a racist. Well, I don't want to be a racist. Why do you think the Republicans are no different than the Democrats in putting women in power, in this fake position of power, false perceived position of power? Because they know that the women are going to help destroy. So unless you go within and live from within, you're not going to make it, folks. You're afraid of life in your little small world. You're afraid of life in your little small world. And the reason you're afraid, you have not found God. But you're afraid of life in your little world. What do you think is going to happen in the big world where the government are running things? I saw a news report this morning, and I believe it was New York, where 3 young black males went up to a walk-up teller, and there was a guy at the walk-up at the teller there, at the bank thing, taking out money or putting in money. He was doing his business, banking business transaction. And these 3 black males went over to him and robbed him. And I think they killed him, but they robbed him and they wounded him or did something to him. They took his money, got on a bus and went their way. When I see the number of men, black males on the street, adult, grown men, and young now, I'm like, why so many black males on the streets? What happened to their common sense? What happened to their ability to take care of themselves as individuals, if nothing else? And the blacks, I just don't know. Knowing what it was like prior to the civil rights movement, which should have never happened. Worst thing happened to blacks. It was worse than slavery itself. The blacks that complained about slavery, of which they know nothing about. Civil rights movement was worse. It made slavery look like a holiday. Holiday. My America is in decay. Everywhere. Not just 1 or 2 places, everywhere. It used to be just in the areas where the blacks live, but the blacks have been trained to take it out to the suburbs. I never imagined see the black mess in places like Beverly Hills and out there in the valley. And those beautiful areas are now becoming stone ghettos, and the people are afraid. And now they want to take away all of your rights to bear arms. They don't want you to protect yourself from the folks. In some American cities, the decay is so bad that it's almost unbelievable. So I want to show you this video of a homeless man. Now, let me say first, I don't know if this is real or not. This could be staged, because people nowadays, they'll do anything to get attention online, Instagram, whatever they use nowadays, to get attention, and because they don't care. So it might be staged, but because I know how the blacks are, it could be real. So I want to say up front, this soundbite I'm about to play for you, I'm not sure if it's real or not. And that's like, it should be, I know that's not real, right? But because of the way the blacks are acting, it's possible to be real. Isn't that a mess?
Some food? Yeah, man.
Don't touch me, I'm hungry.
All right.
I'm hungry, you better
All right, I'm trying to get some food. I need some food, man. Think I got food? Yo, see me homie. Yo, my girl needs some food, man. Can you help me out? Come on, man. Don't be like that, man. It's for a lady, man. What's your problem, bro? It's for a woman, huh? It's for a woman. Bro, you can't help a woman out? Bro, that's my big egg and cheese. Man, come on, man. Baby.
Do you think that was staged or real, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to say. I can see why you would doubt it a little bit. Like, kind of the way they were talking seems very unnatural.
Like the woman inside the tent, I want my food, and this guy get up, and then the guy with the food, it almost sounds staged. You taking my burger, or whatever he said.
Yeah, exactly. It was really the way that they were speaking.
Yeah.
Kind of seemed a little unnatural. But again, although it seemed that way, again, I wouldn't put it past it. It's totally real.
Right. Isn't that too bad that the blacks are carrying on so bad that it could be real? That we think it could be real rather than saying, no, that's not. Just knowing.
Yeah, I mean, when you see it on its face, I mean, it is absurd. There's a full-blown tent in the subway train.
Yeah.
And two people are in there, and there's just like this big fat black guy, shirtless.
Sloppy.
Yeah. Just jumps out of the tent. Anybody got any food? And he snatches some guys' food. Yeah. It's quite unnerving.
So our chat is divided. Some say fake and some say real. I don't know.
It's tough. It's so absurd.
Yeah. It's too bad that in America today we don't know if that's staged or real. Why do blacks, what's wrong with the blacks that they need program? Why are they capable to just pull themselves up? What's wrong with them?
Because the white man has stopped them from getting them jobs. The white man did not allow them to qualify for the position because every application that you fill out, you got to put what race you are and put your zip code, and that tells where you live and what color you are, and that gives the white man the power, which is white supremacy, to hire you or not to hire you.
And so let's say that's not true, but let's say that's true, right? Just for your sake only. What's wrong with the blacks that if the white man stopped them from getting a job by not giving them a job, what's wrong with them that they are incapable of starting their own jobs? Here's an example of how bad the crime is, and these blacks are carrying on.
If you were to walk down this block, you will notice that the homes and the apartments here have something in common, and that is they have received this letter from the post office, which isn't promising a speedy delivery.
This popped up, I think it was not last night, the night before.
Courtney Smith says the post office recently left this notice at her Santa Monica apartment complex. It reads in part, delivery service is hereby suspended to all addresses located on the 1300 block of 14th Street.
And my immediate reaction was just disappointment, frustration.
The note goes on to say multiple carriers have been subjected to assaults and threats of assault from an individual who has not been located or apprehended. We spoke to Santa Monica police, who told us the only assault case involving a postal carrier they're aware of goes back to January 9th. It happened near the corner of Arizona and 14th, where a customer attacked the carrier with a broomstick and left him with a small cut to his arm.
Wow. And white people seem so helpless to this crime, too. They don't know what to do. They're like, I'm not getting mail now. What the? When you talk to white people about the crime that's upon them, they just feel helpless to it because it's not in their nature to be that way. This is why they move out of those areas when the blacks move in, because they know this is going to happen. If they fight back, they're going to lose their livelihood because they'll be called racist. If they move away, they'll be called racist. If they defend themselves. So they're like, what do I do? They want the blacks doing this, folks. They really, really do, because now you have to vote them in. You put them in whether they're qualified or not to try to appease them. And the blacks are using the blacks, and the liberal whites are using the blacks to destroy America. And you heard Tony, that's just fine because of what happened in the 60s. Amazing. I want my country back. I want it back. I want it back. Amazing. And don't forget to like, follow, tweet, subscribe, and share the Just Lee Peterson radio show, folks. We really appreciate it. We are at war. It is a spiritual battle for the soul of America. And it's going to take all of us to do it.